talking, the popcorn is popping, yeah. In my PJs, love the way we vibe, this girl talk all night, yeah. In my PJs.
It's Keely Sharia, the Princess Diva Queen of MIPJs. You all, we are looking to have an awesome show today. We have Ryan D. Rutley joining us on the show today. You know him by his music. He's soon to be author with his book Singular. Listen, you gotta join us for this conversation.
Hey guys, it's Crystal, and we are here with In My PJs.
I am Tara, the misunderstood one, of course. And I am Famika Louise, the free spirit.
Hey, and it's your girl Keely Sharia, the queen, or as I would say, the Princess Diva. Anywho, and they say I'm opinionated. I don't know about that, but I'm passionate. I believe what I believe. And today we have Ryan D. Rutley. Yeah, so Ryan, tell us what's going on in Ryan D. Rutley's world.
Wow, first of all, thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of this night. I feel like we're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like y'all been having a good time already, so I see. I guess I got to catch up. So can we do a toast? Can we do a toast? Can we do a toast? All right, PJ crew. So, in a nutshell, in my world, I am a businessman, a father, a minister, a biblical college professor, producer, and just, I always clown people and tell them, like coming to America, I'm just a goat herder, okay? I'm literally an African, all right, a 37-year-old African man that just, I have a good team of people that help me do what I do in my profession. So music is my biggest passion. I feel like music is a language. It is it's a demonstration of what is within, and it comes out through a song. So any experience in life, all relationships, regrets, successes, failures, they come through songs. And so
Ryan has done a lot, and today we are talking about know your worth.
Wow.
Stop jumping up and down for attention. All right, so let's get started.
It's true. Can I take y'all on a roll with? Can y'all go somewhere and do a concert? Can y'all just go on the stage and get hype? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might have to think about that, because Tristan songs and pajamas just might, pink popcorn and wine. I don't know.
Don't talk about the pink
I don't know.
So good.
You know what I'm saying?
So tell us about this, Ryan, because again, you've done so much, you do so much. So, I'm assuming, but I don't like to make assumptions.
Sure.
You have to know your worth, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to us about that.
You know what? Yes, ma'am. Keely, I believe knowing your worth is really important. My bad.
No, I'm just
What is it? Queen, diva, princess, opinionated. Okay, thank y'all. Y'all gonna have a fifth member in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, think about that, Tara. Okay, we'll talk later. Okay, all right. So, I agree, ladies. Knowing your worth is so important because I believe because of your worth, you create other environments, and you are a if you a liar and you around other liars, don't get mad when you caught lying. You know what I'm saying? And so I just believe that I love to inspire people, Keely and ladies, when it comes to your worth, because in every relationship, it doesn't have to be you booed up, but any business relationships, mentor-mentee relationships, husband, wife, son, daughter, daughter, brother, sister, whoever you are, when you don't know your value, you're either going to devalue or you're going to bring value to the people that's around you. I just wrote a book that's called Singular, and I'm really excited about that. We were delayed because of some printing processes, but the book is called Singular, the prayers, the principles, and the pressures of singles every day. And in that, people always deal with, you got to deal with yourself. Yeah. A lot of people, I want my Boaz. Well, time out. Boaz was another time, and he had his wife. You don't need Boaz.
You don't need Boaz. Soon after.
It's
So
right.
you have all that money, but then you by yourself.
Right,
So,
exactly.
I mean,
And
be
so-
careful what you ask for.
Exactly.
That might be all right.
So Bo got his. You know what I'm saying? Bo got a tombstone right now. Okay. So, but in a nutshell, knowing your value is very important. That's I can go so many directions, and I'm sure tonight we'll steer that boat. But knowing your value is so important, man, because you can delay, you can speed up your miracle, you can you can mess up friendships, relationships. You can do that when you don't know your value. You know. That's
What
important.
about like when people are really, it's not, they would say, I know I'm valued, I'm a king,
Right.
I'm a queen, because everybody, it's so cliche. Everybody's, I'm
Right.
a king now, I'm a queen,
Right.
hey, black queen, black, you know, all
Right,
that
right,
stuff.
right.
But they do jump up and down
Yeah.
for attention. They would do anything
Yeah.
to get some attention.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they don't value themselves?
That's a very good question.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I don't
Does
know.
that mean
Now,
that they
think
don't value
Think about
themselves?
it. Think about today's day and age
Sure.
in social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody in this panel is
Oh
on
my
social
gosh.
media.
Yes.
Instagram is the worst.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just like
Everybody's
you
on a
get
video.
all these followers because you got your ass out, you got your titties out. I mean, you just damn near. And I don't understand the duck lips and the booty in the mirror. I don't have
I
a
don't
booty,
understand
so
that from a
you ain't gonna
man.
catch me in the mirror. But or they, I don't understand it. So what are you
Those are the
searching? What are you
models.
seeking
They're
for?
models.
Instagram models don't exist.
They do, they make money.
They get money.
They
Instagram
money.
models don't exist.
They make
get
money.
paid.
They don't model for
They get that
Tyra.
bread, girl. What you talking
Taking
about?
that bread. I mean, I'm just saying, it's different. It's interesting to me, you know.
I wish our millennium was here because I think Shelly, we miss you. We'll see you next week.
Yes, miss
but
you, Shelly.
she would be able to explain maybe the thought process. I guess it was like when we were growing up, it was hip hop music, right?
Right.
I would say like hip hop music was our fad, and that's what
Right.
we think. And so we dressed like the hip hop thing. So now it's social media. So everything is social media. They have 8-year-olds that's on social media making money. I mean, 6-year-olds, you know, people,
Yeah.
the parents, because that's the thing to do. So that's the way of getting attention.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
With anything, you're supposed to have a balance. And I
Yes.
think a lot of things is people are out of balance in life anyway.
Absolutely.
And so it's easy for them to get on Instagram and just say, oh, let me show you this and show you that to
Yeah.
get all my followers, because
draw attention.
everything
Draw
is telling them
attention
to be
themselves.
about money.
Yeah,
But
and you gotta
at a
look
certain
at that.
point, do you think that turns into vanity, though?
It is.
It's totally, because look at the word social media. First of all, you got to know what that is.
Right.
First of all, what's amazing is, like you said, I'm old school. I believe if you're going to pursue somebody, you know, nowadays you got to go through Facebook, or you got to go through Twitter, you got to go through, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go through all these hoops and loops where, you know, people aren't old school anymore. To pick up the phone and call and say, hey, listen, you know what? Noticed you at service, or I noticed you at this event, or, you know, or I know a mutual friend. To have a conversation now is just obsolete almost. You know what I'm saying? So now now you got a platform.
Inbox them.
Yeah, you do. That's true.
In my
That's true.
DM, they in
That's
my
true.
DM.
You gotta slide it in.
Right. But to your point, right. But to your point, as far as jumping up and down for attention, what's happening is the platform now is so abused because it ain't reality.
Yeah.
It's not reality.
That's the problem.
People
That's
doing
what-
things that they do not do in
Yeah.
their everyday lives.
And they wouldn't be famous if they didn't have a page.
Right.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Which I think is probably, okay, so me being an artist,
Okay.
Right.
me not living in LA, not living
Sure.
in Atlanta, not living in New York, how else
Am I supposed
will I even have the possibility of someone even seeing me?
But I think
So
the
in that
difference-
case, I'm appreciative of it, but I think it's being abused.
yes,
And the reason why it's being
different
abused,
from career, it's different.
Right.
But
You're not
It's
on there
almost
naked.
like-
My finger.
girl, you don't know
My
that.
I can't get
What
right.
you sitting in the DMs, boo?
The views and the opinions now are those that express are not those of Ryan Rutledge, but they are those of the PJs. Okay? I did not say anything during that moment, okay?
My whole thing was, we were talking about this topic, is just seeing the younger generation and the things that they have to do on, or not that they have to, but they choose to do on social media.
But
just
that's
to get
key.
attention
But
from
you're
Younger
saying
generation.
It's not just young
It's
people.
young, it's some old.
Exactly.
That's wrong. Now, like, I'm not a millennial. But I mean, in that respect, I'm gonna stand up to them. It's not just young people.
I didn't say it was just
here.
them. That was my thought process when I came up with the topic, though, because we were trying to reach the whole younger generation.
Right.
It's people older than me that are doing it. It's people my age that are actually doing it. And I'm like,
Man, there's
you
folks that
serious
ain't got no
right now?
teeth out there smiling. You know what I'm saying? Like, toothpaste.
Hold on.
Hey, bro, y'all hit me up on here. Hold on, mama, can you put a denture in or something? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and I think to your point, this
Ain't nothing wrong with
conversation
dentures. If you wear dentures, wear
says the queen.
That
Says
is
the queen.
not the opinion of NYPJs. That's Mr. Ryan's personal take on it.
Seat's empty. Let me sit with you. I'm sitting with her. Scoot over. Scoot over. That seat is empty right now. Seat's empty. No, but listen, to your point of this, to keep this conversation relevant. The focus is, or the problem is they're doing it for attention.
They are,
now,
right.
here's you got two sides to this. There's a good way to give attention and or receive it, and then there's a bad way. I think again, when you know your value, see, it goes back to what's
Yes,
in.
it
When
is.
you know your value, first of all, if you got mom and daddy or grandma, grandpa, however you was raised, when you getting that love at home, my mom and dad always taught me, and thank God I was fortunate for that. And I don't take that lightly. But they always said, if you getting the attention at home, you don't need it in the public like that.
Absolutely.
Think about it. Most stars in LA, most stars in New York, most people that are there, and it's not wrong to have a desire, to have a push, to have a zeal. I love that. But when you do it for the wrong reasons, watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Once you get there, it ain't
You're
gonna
ready.
mean nothing to you.
Right.
Why do you think when they have it, folks are like, oh my God, man, I will do anything. I will kill to have your life. And they just look like, dude, this is just stuff.
Right.
To us,
Because they've gotten there.
you know, right, to a blue collar, which almost there's no more blue collar left, you know what I'm saying, in our society, to a middle class, which is almost obsolete again. You know, that person looks at their lifestyle, they want to covet, and it's like, oh my God, you got this going on. So hey, can you see me? They jump up and down for that attention. So guess what? They'll do, watch this, anything.
Yeah.
That means even your moral values. That means everything against what's natural in your mind, you will do whatever it takes to go beyond yourself to get there, to get attention. So now you got this attention. So you showed up at the modeling agency for a photo shoot. Didn't know this guy was a pervert. So he started taking pictures. You know what? Take this off. Dance like that. Sit to the side. Next thing you know, y'all in the room. We all adults. You know what's happening next.
Casting couch.
What's
Right?
happening?
But what's happening? Go to her Instagram page. Go back to 2 weeks ago. Her, no, I said her. Her.
The one that was in there taking
The girl. Right. See what I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh shoot, you know. So now, okay, and case in point, like this case that just took place in Lansing. You know what I'm saying? All of these athletes, you know, when this guy didn't know his value, and so guess what? Since he didn't know his, he's gonna definitely take advantage of you. You can't be shocked.
Yeah.
My problem is how did so many people get by and get through and get hurt before you got to make a sentence like, okay, you're going to serve life. Why do so many women have to go through it? So my case is, and ladies, they got a conversation going on over there.
We're listening though. I'm
Is it
just
good?
more than one thing.
Thank you, Queen, the opinionated Queen, listen to me. And then my homie over here, listen.
Passionate,
Passionate, opinionated Queen.
Same
Right.
thing.
But no, like the thing is when you don't know your value, then you're gonna always seek for that attention. And the problem now is you never know what hands you're gonna land in.
That's right.
So that's the part you
Because
gotta be careful.
you're gonna come
You
to a
gonna-
point where
Oh,
you're
you gonna-
gonna have to make that hard
Oh, you
decision.
gonna
Like,
land.
wait a minute,
You're gonna land.
I'm here.
Yep.
I want this.
Wait a minute, I
Right.
thought I wanted it, and
You
then
go.
some of them make that decision to
scared.
get it, and they get there, and they like, oh my
And they
God, this
realize.
is not what I thought it
Yep.
was
But
going
you know-
to be. This is not really what I want.
It's not.
And that's how you have those committing suicide and doing
Yes,
all
ma'am.
that other stuff that has
Absolutely.
millions of dollars.
Well, let me flip it even on your side, because
Go
you
ahead.
mentioned how you had a
Sure.
mother and a father.
Absolutely.
I grew up in a mother and a father
Sure.
household.
Absolutely.
But what made me have low self-esteem
Sure.
and seek attention
Sure.
from outside was I'll have loving parents.
Absolutely.
My father told me he loved me
Right.
all the time. So
Absolutely.
it wasn't like I was missing the home thing.
Right.
What I missed was
Mhm.
because I was very skinny.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
In the black community, being
Right.
thin
Right.
was
Girl,
not
you
in.
built like a white girl.
And so
That's what
That's what they used to say.
That's what they
That's what
say.
they used to say.
And
I'm
so,
sorry, almost.
because that wasn't in the in
Yeah.
the black community, you had to be thick, big
Yeah.
booty, big chest.
Right.
That I didn't have that.
Right. That's a
That
big point.
so
I ain't got
I
that
went to
problem.
go see.
No, you
I went to go seek the value of others outside
Yeah.
because I didn't think I was attractive
Gotcha.
because of society.
Right.
So now, if you think about
I-
social media and our youth,
Yeah.
society is pushing them to be
To do that.
to be for attention.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
even the music, everything
Absolutely.
is pushing them to say, you get this attention, you can be a star. I mean,
Yep.
not to Kim Kardashian, she's a star and started with a sex tape.
Yeah.
So what are you
How did
showing?
having sex translate into you becoming $1 million?
$1 million. And so what are you
being like
teaching?
so an idol.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an idol now, you know, and she's being followed. She's on all magazines across the
Absolutely.
country. So
It's accepted.
it's
Society
accepted.
is
Right,
society
but
is-
but to your point, and I don't disagree with that. I actually love that point because you're right. The balance factor is there. Now we have to go a step further and ask the question. Now watch this. So mom and dad was there. That's great. Mom and dad loved you. That's great. Mom and dad said I loved you. I think that male factor is very important. Even if it's an uncle, even if it's a pastor, even if it's whoever it is,
Yes.
you gotta have
That's
gotta have that balance. Because when you don't, it could have been worse. So praise God, whatever experience you have, thank God. But watch this. Now, what we do is we acknowledge it, but our society has to get to a place where we realize it. Because for you to say, like you said,
Yes.
okay, I'm skinny, and in the black community, you know that ain't happening. You know,
At
you
the
gotta have
time.
butt, you gotta have breasts, you gotta be busty. Or at the time,
Yeah, and
So-
Because now
so
it's
now-
starting to be accepted
Right.
because so many people getting the boobs,
Right.
the booty done,
Man, you
and
can
it's
get
fake,
it,
and
girl, you can
can't
buy
touch
it, but now.
So guys is like,
Buy one?
I like natural women.
Really?
I do. I want to buy one.
Really?
I do.
Why don't y'all do a PJ show one day? Y'all in y'all PJs and y'all all got like bought butts. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Y'all
purchase.
can buy a little bit. Buy a little bit.
Good.
I'll
I'm
take
good.
I'll make my money.
And I'm happy.
So I think to your point now, what has to happen is because the Bible never said raise him. It said train up a child
Train them, that's right.
in the way that he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. What is it? The training.
Right.
So now, okay, honey, I love you. You're my daughter. I love you, girl. You my princess. But now I got to start doing some development things because when I say, okay, daughter, come look in the mirror. I got 2 daughters. Now I'm being transparent. I'm always on them about that. Like, you know, I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to say something to you. All right? And then I'm going to say something to you. And then we going to say something to you so you know your value. Because now if you in your classroom and you cutting a fool, now daddy got to come on you because you know the other kids, but dad, they said, I'm not training them.
No.
I'm training you.
All right.
I'm holding you responsible.
Right.
But what happens
Exactly.
because we do live in a society
And that's
where
true.
you might value your child,
Right.
but other people don't value your child.
That's
true.
They're gonna say
And
things,
they're out there
do
hours
things,
at a time
and
every
they're
day
not
with
I
them.
agree.
and so then that
I agree.
kid has to still grow up with that.
Absolutely. Yep.
How do you
Okay.
have that greater
Good.
influence on
Good.
your child
Absolutely.
versus these
So
outside influences
again, now
that
what
they're
I do.
around
Absolutely.
all day long?
Absolutely. Yep. Great question. I'm glad because so now what I've done is I first started with my environment. I started with my children's environment. Now what I do is I become familiar with their environment. So as a parent and as teachers, as preachers, or whoever we are in the community, even just as a man, you ain't got to be a minister. You ain't got to be none of that. As a man, as a parent, as a woman, as a mother, get familiar with their environments. And if you see the need, meet it. Adopt these kids.
Stop saying
You know what I'm
mind
saying?
your business.
Right.
You are my business.
They used to say that it takes a whole village.
It's a village, and it does.
But
It hasn't changed.
now the village is broken. So what we're raising,
Because these kids,
we're raising.
you ain't
know what
my
I'm
mama,
saying?
you can't tell me
Because
that.
we stopped
Right.
raising our kids.
Right.
I was raised in Mississippi, and
Yeah.
I promise you,
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Right.
When I was told, don't you cuss, don't you dis. Now you know when you away from your family, you walk into the store, y'all bad, y'all
Showing
cussing
out.
up a storm.
Right, right.
I never curse. You want to know why? Because if someone overheard me, they could snatch my little
Right.
But
tail
y'all
off.
see, but y'all
They
say to
would-
do this to other people's kids. Mama's gonna come back. Hold on, you put your hands on
Okay.
my
Right.
Because things
Right.
have changed.
So
Yes.
you
And
can't-
it's
you can't do
changed.
that.
That's
You
true.
can't do
And
that.
Because back in the day,
That's
that's
true.
why it
It's
took a
changed.
village and anybody on that block
Yep.
could snap that ass.
Yep.
Quick, fast,
Real
and
quick.
So now what we have to
And I'm
do.
gonna take you home, and your mama finna
Right.
beat that.
Right. And I agree with Keely. Like times have changed. So now what we have to do in that training is we have to be creative. Once we start programs, we start adoptions, we start visiting these kids, we start calling their parents. Like I don't blame the kids.
Yeah.
I blame the parent. If they create the environment.
But a lot of times, so just working for the school
Sure.
district, a lot of times you're seeing parents
Yep.
that have not been trained.
Yep.
They
And
don't
they
know
have
their
been
words.
That's true.
They don't know
And
their
because
words.
grandparents-
Mama
Because the gra-
mama is one on Instagram talking about,
Yep. Yeah, mama.
that's mama.
Girl,
Yeah.
I'm getting you a new step.
This is not just an issue about kids.
Yeah.
No, it goes back generations
Really.
because now you're dealing with
Absolutely.
grandkids and great grandkids
Yeah.
of parents that were on drugs.
Yeah.
And so you having the drug addiction and the kids that may have been addicted to drugs having kids. So you can't just stop at now is the kids or even the parents. You might have to even go back even a further generation because drugs did
I'm
flood
not
our
using
community.
that. I'm not using that as
Oh,
an
no,
excuse.
no.
My dad was on drugs, and I mean.
But were you
so it's
born?
not-
Were you born addicted to drugs?
No, that's a different story. If you're born addicted to a drug, that's a different
But that's
story.
what I'm saying.
But-
You're dealing
but
with the
this whole thing
grandkids.
of
You're dealing with the
attention,
grandkids
seeking
of those
attention.
kids
That's
who
addicted to
have been
drugs.
addicted to drugs. I mean,
Grandma
I see
and
it
grandpa
every
was tired,
single
didn't feel
day
like raising
walking
them.
through the
They couldn't
schools.
raise them.
They
Yeah.
couldn't raise them.
But
They don't know
I
how
don't
to
think that's the case for
Yeah.
everybody
It's
that's
not.
running around here not valuing themselves. There's a lot of people out here who don't know their worth,
Yeah.
and they grew up in very what I would consider a great home. Like, I mean, they're jumping up and down for their attention. They're the ones that's on social media trying to create these facades.
But we're talking about the parents.
They've been convinced
Yeah.
to believe that
That's-
they have to
right.
do that. That way,
Right.
if you
And so
get
that's
on,
what
because
I'm
I'm gonna
saying.
tell
That's
you,
where
y'all
we
know
are.
you in music
That's where we are.
platforms.
Yep.
Before you approach an A&R, before they approach you, you have to have so many followers. How do you
Right.
get them? I'm
Yep.
not gonna get
Yep.
them just sitting here. You know what I'm saying? And just going.
You
I have
gotta
to
be-
get. I gotta do something.
So
Because
Because
to
they-
them, your following is your worth. You are not worthy.
Because-
Your
yeah,
talent
no.
is not worthy.
Why give me
Your
millions of
following
dollars
is
if
what
I can't?
creates.
If I can't convince them that I'm worth millions of
Right.
dollars, the only way I'm worth it is if I have all these people saying yes, I'm gonna follow her because she's worth that.
But see-
Then they'll come and approach you.
But now we're going back to the core of why we even bringing up this conversation.
But you know they always say negative press is good too.
Yeah, we-
Any kind of press
Can
is
I
good.
be
for
honest with
anybody.
y'all? Can I
And
be
it's
honest?
horrible.
If I was to be brutally honest about this
Be
conversation,
brutal.
everything we're talking about is all external.
It is.
Ain't nothing internal because that person that we're talking about has weighed everything according to their value, like she just said, because they said I needed
So
this
I'm
many
a-
followers
yeah,
because
and some people
my
okay
friend.
with it.
So if the Jones do it, if it's popular, then I got to do it.
Yep.
We don't have enough
People
people.
don't think for themselves.
We don't have enough. We don't have enough people, man. We have a shortage of people that are happily married,
Yeah.
that are
That's
in
happy.
the home,
Hold on. Happy.
that are.
happy period.
Amen. And- but I'm saying overall, there are some fundamentals that's missing. It's like the alphabet. You notice something, and it's ironic because I am in music. Notice when all of us was in third grade, second grade, when we learned the alphabet, we never learned it just because we wrote it down or because we read it. What do? We put a tune to it.
Yeah.
We were so creative.
T-U-V,
W-X-Y-Z.
That ain't the alphabet no more. That ain't the alphabet no more. But y'all know it, right? Exactly. My point exactly. But you know what? We got creative.
Yeah.
So I believe, and I hope whoever's watching, I hope everybody that's watching, I hope you're irritated enough to do something about it.
Yes.
That's where I'm coming from.
I agree.
I'm coming from the place of, okay, cool, all this is happening externally.
fine.
But we got to get to the hearts of whoever it is, mama, grandmama, daughter, son, out there sagging, smoking, hey, this is the life, and I'm out here shooting up, I'm doing this, and guess what? Now tomorrow you was nobody, you was like bullied every day, and guess what? You turn on your Facebook page, you got 5,000 friends now.
Yeah.
One kid, one guy, I don't even know his
inspiration
name.
to keep
He
going.
got famous doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Just saying dumb stuff.
95% of them do.
Right. Well, I would say 95%. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Because-
95 because you
Yeah.
think about all the talented people just in Detroit alone
Absolutely.
who are struggling to get that contract, get
Yeah.
seen, be discovered.
Being clean
but
cut,
you go
trying to
and
be-
you be
yeah.
a Cardi B and you just on
And-
top of the
and
world.
what's
But
happening-
here's the thing, it's not
Yep.
always about getting some type of success out of it. Sometimes it's just about feeling important.
Self-satisfaction.
Because I got
Important, yeah.
5,000
Yep.
friends
Yep.
and I got my second
agree.
page
Yep.
and I got 10,000 followers on Instagram and Twitter and I don't know, Beyonce said hi to me on Twitter. I don't know.
Right.
And so now I'm important.
Right.
And so sometimes it's not even about money.
Yeah.
It's not about getting
It's past.
things. It's not about a career. It's just about, I just want to feel important. And so I don't have any other way to feel important that I'm aware of.
That's
Right.
good.
That I'm
Because
aware
the
of.
thing
That is
is,
the purpose
we
of
all
the
have
phrase
some
that makes
type
the
of
definition.
value.
That's good.
Yes.
But how do we discover
That's
our
good.
value?
Yeah.
For me, it was God. Like,
Absolutely.
honestly, I had to build a relationship with God. Once I built my relationship with God, I valued me because I knew the true me. I knew, and I'm still learning. Don't get me wrong, I'm not there. You know, you grow every day. But the more you grow with God, the more you realize. And once I got the revelation that He loved me, it didn't matter about nobody else's love.
Right.
Because once He loved me, then I can love
Nobody
me.
else even matters.
Nobody else. And then I was like, hold on, I'm the child of God. Wait. I don't have to take this.
Now, did you grow up in church or did you grow
I
up
did
with
not.
some
Okay,
type
I
of
grew up in a
background?
spiritual home. My father
So
was.
and that makes a difference, though.
I grew
Because
up.
not a lot of those people, our viewers, not a lot of them grew up with a spiritual or religion, like none of that.
Yeah,
I
I didn't
grew
grow
up
up
with
so.
the drug addicted parents. They grew up with, you know, like we just gotta do what we gotta
But
do,
even
get
with-
it how you live type of environment.
But even with the
So, but
spiritual
even
home,
now-
the spiritual home,
They
like
didn't always-
my grandmother was Baptist, my other grandmother was Jehovah's Witness, so that kind of brought us to not go
But
to
you
church.
had that training.
But the
You had
training,
that training,
but
and
the
you may have
training-
departed, but look where you're at now. It didn't say that you will always be that way. But when you grow old, you will go back to that, which you did. So
I
those
did,
people
yes.
who did not have that, their upbringing, their training was
Totally opposite.
get it how you live, baby. If you got to go out and do what you got to do, go ahead and do what you got to do, sell what you got. And that is your work. That's how you get that. And so for those that grew up being trained that way, and now they're adults not knowing their worth, how do we, being responsible people, being, influencers, what do we say to
We
them to
plant
say
seeds.
you
I'm with
are?
Yep.
Because I'm gonna
You
tell
gotta
you
be
something.
creative.
If you plant a
That's a
seed,
seed, yes.
what I
Absolutely.
believe, I may not see the result right now,
Exactly.
but that seed been planted. And
Yes.
so if we're people of faith,
Absolutely.
Yes.
we're gonna believe, okay, I may have planted it, because I know all of us have experienced somebody told us something, and then years later somebody else says something, you're like, oh my God,
Yes.
somebody else told me the same thing.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That
And
seed
you
is
appreciate
planted.
it. Yes.
And to be
And
honest
it
with
connected.
you, to be honest with you, again, those are external factors, and I believe that they help rear that person. I think when true change happens, even if whether they were in a household that was more holy than now, or they were in an environment where they didn't see no holiness, everybody is given a chance to make a decision.
Oh,
And when they get their place, and here's the thing. So on the good side, they've been so pushed to the good, and anything, to be honest with you, too far to the right or to the left is really called error.
Right.
I mean, too much good can be bad.
No, for
Yes.
real.
Too much
White-
bad
We know
can be
about
bad.
white privilege.
Yeah.
People get off.
Yeah.
You know-
So I agree, and I think case in point is, so in that lifestyle of the person who had it really good, they were fed the word of God every day. They prayed with mom and daddy every day. They were reared up well. You know, they even have they were pushed and pressured into a way to where they went too far to the left. They was like, you know what? Okay, let me see what it looked like. Because even on the bad side, you want to know what it is on the good.
Yeah.
Like everybody always wants to know: is the grass really green on the other side,
Right.
or is it colored? You know what I'm saying? Hasn't been did somebody
Spray
colored?
paint that.
Right. that grass just looks
That
too
ain't
good.
real.
But when you get yourself to a place, thank God, man. Thank God for His grace. That's why grace has. The Bible says, grace. You know what I'm saying? The grace. So you continue in sin, that grace may abound. God forbid. So everybody can live life, and you can never. Maybe you'll never know right, but you'll never die and not get a chance to know God.
So this is
You know what I'm
me
saying?
being the little free spirit that I am.
Okay.
I think that also what will really help us is if we be true to ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's the only way really we can, I can talk to you and tell you how you can just be good.
That's right.
But until you recognize what it is that needs changing,
Absolutely.
whether you are in tune,
Yeah.
like Cat Williams said, with that key
In
player,
that
if
mirror,
you ain't in
baby,
tune with
that
it,
key
you will
player,
go out there,
yeah.
you'll just be doing anything. The wind
And
blow
that's
this
the
way,
problem.
the wind blow that way.
That's
Because
a
you
good
don't really,
point.
because you don't really
You
know.
don't know.
We
Right.
must be honest with ourselves, and regardless of what anybody else say,
Absolutely.
If it ain't one with you, don't do it.
Right.
Right.
There you go.
Now we also have to accept the fact that hey, it's not meant for us to reach all people. We're not going to. We're not going
That's
to.
good. And
Even
you gotta
the angel
know
gate
that.
kicked out of heaven.
Like you say,
Angel gate kicked out of
you
heaven.
just plant the seeds. That's all that
Right.
you
That's
do.
it. That's
Keep
faith,
it
and that's
moving.
key.
Yeah.
The issue is if we don't plant the seeds, not seeing
Right.
something when we supposed to. Have y'all ever
I
been
agree
faced
with
with?
that. I agree with
I
that.
should say something to this group of young
Yep.
guys.
Yep.
Me today,
Well, no,
if I see some stuff, I say something.
Gotcha.
You can ask anybody. Excuse me. Oh, he beat her ass on the side of the water. What? I can't sit there and watch that happen anymore
Right.
because that's been me. Our problem is we have been convinced that snitching is wrong. First of all, I'm not gonna go and ride with you and then go back and say that you did it by yourself. That's a liar. That ain't no snitch.
Right.
We've lost the true definition and the meanings of words.
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta be real with ourselves.
Yeah,
I don't care what nobody tells us.
And I think
I
that's
gotta
part
gotta
of
be
it.
true to me.
Absolutely.
Ryan, from a man's perspective, to a little girl or a young woman that's watching this episode
Sure.
today,
Yeah.
Saturday evening, she could be married, she could be in a relationship,
Come on in.
but her spouse is not giving her attention. Her spouse may even be cheating on her.
Okay.
To the young lady who's sitting around with a girl, a guy doesn't like her because her boobs ain't big enough, or her butt's not big enough, or her butt's not big enough.
Social media stuff right
Right.
On social media, see?
to
What
a
are you talking
lady
to?
who is sitting there with really low self-esteem right
Absolutely.
now because of a man.
Okay.
She may have a wonderful job, great career, great mom. It doesn't matter.
Nowadays, man
Even
or a woman,
degrees.
you know that,
Right,
right?
true. But from a man's perspective, what would you tell this lady?
Well, I would tell her a few things. Number one, it's very important that if you don't know your value, you're either going to give your value away or somebody's going to take it away.
So what if the man is taking her value away?
And to your point, to that lady, that you feel like you less than, you wasn't qualified, you was pushed to the back, whoever you are, please come in. Let me tell you something. When God created you, you were the greatest miracle that could have ever been created.
Still is, yes.
If you look at your hands, if you notice in your palm, and many of you have heard this scenario, where there is no other design in your palm that you can compare to another human being ever. The only one can do that is God. So my challenge to you and my suggestion is I want you to meet a friend called Jesus. I want you to meet my life-changing partner. And that is found in God, man. Because He's the one that originally created you. I can tell you to read these books, talk to Dr. Phil, talk to Oprah, talk to Steve Harvey, but at the end of the day, internally, you need healness and you need wholeness. And how you do that is seek it the right way. You don't have to jump up and let me tell you something. You're trying to get the attention of that man, you don't need to pursue him. You can position yourself, but you don't have to pursue him. You don't gotta show everything, because I always tell people there's a difference between a present and a gift. I know what a present is, but a gift I have to seek after if I really want it. And if you give him a present, he ain't gonna want to know the gift. So my advice would be, so funny. My advice is keep the gift.
Keep your gift.
Keep the gift, girl. Keep the gift. Keep the gift. Don't let it out. Don't let it out. So my encouragement would be, and if she says, well, how do I do that? I would say keep watching this show. I would say get attached to these girls. Get in an environment, man, because you are who you're around. And I don't have to meet your friend, or I don't have to meet you. I know who your friends are. I'll know how you associate it. I know how you think. I know how you speak by your friends, by your associations, by who you hang around. And so if your environment is right, then everything else will be around you right. That's all I got to say, man. But I enjoyed myself tonight. Love y'all, man.
To that, we are getting ready to go to bed.
I'm about to go to bed.
Awesome.
He just told me I've been
Cheers,
giving
cheers to that young lady. We got you.
Cheers to that lady.
We
And can
got
I say one more thing to that young lady, real quick? To every woman that's been abused, every woman that's been lied to, every woman that's been cheated on, I know he ain't gonna never come to you and say it. I know he'll never confess it. I want to stand proxy for that man, or for that woman, or whoever. And I want to repent to you, man. I want to apologize to you for how you were treated.
Wow.
If you you never found the right one and you just feel like all men are dogs. This is not the case. Okay? I just want to give cheers to you. I want you to know that you're looking at 4 miracles right here, 5 miracles right here.
For real.
And guess what? The rest of your days will be the best of your days.
Absolutely.
All right? Listen, cheers.
Thank you.
All right.